Hey, buddy, friend, guy. Ash here with Gents. How are you? Having a pretty good day today, guys. I'm just hanging out. Lazy day. Lazy Sunday when I'm filming this. I hope that wherever you are, whatever day it is, I hope you've been able to take a load off and relax a little bit today at some point. Today, we're talking about fragrances that are just massive, unfathomable hits. Fragrances that definitely made their releasing company happy because they saw those money cars coming in, those money trucks. Just Scrooge McDucking it, just backing it up, dumping all those gold coins on top of you, which I don't know about you guys. DuckTales, some of you out there know what I'm talking about. Scrooge McDuck, diving into those gold coins. Come on, man, it's unrealistic. So I've got 10 different fragrances here. They're huge. If you're into fragrances, you gotta know about these. We're spanning many decades with these fragrances. They are all designer scents. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about some of the biggest fragrance releases of all time. Guys, I'll have these linked in the description. You know the drill, check them out down there. And also, if you shop at twistedlily.com or maxaroma.com, Gents 10 will get you 10% off your order. And you know what else is one of the biggest fragrances of all time? Oh wait, no, definitely not one of the biggest of all time. Dang it. But thanks to your support, we have already sold over 20,000 bottles of my new fragrances. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my cold heart. All 3 fragrances, Blue Ridge, Jet Black Enigma, and Terra Nova, are in every Perfumania and every fragrance outlet store in America. If you have one nearby, please stop in and give them a smell. Alternatively, linked down below at michaelmalone.com, you can use the code GENTS for 20% off your order if you want to buy them off the internet. Let's jump into the top 10 that are not actually a top 10 because I didn't rank these out in any particular order. I have to start it with this one. You already know what's coming. I have to work this into as many videos as I can. Drakkar Noir, Guy Laroche. Legitimately though, it deserves to be in this list. It belongs in this list. If you're talking about the biggest men's designer fragrances of all time, Drakkar Noir is one of those. Just the other day, I was using ChatGPT and I asked it, would Patrick Bateman like Drakkar Noir? And it gave me this kind of rundown about how Patrick Bateman, a character in the novel American Psycho, was very keen on looks and keeping themselves up. I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly what it said, but I'll talk to it again and show it to you here. But basically at the end it said, yeah, Patrick Bateman probably would have liked Drakkar Noir. So yeah, and it sells itself. I do love this scent though. I know that some people will say that this is like, you know, a dated fragrance from the 80s, a yuppie smell, that it's overdone, it's no good anymore. Pish posh. Drakkar Noir is awesome. I still wear that from time to time. I still think it smells great. And for the price point, next to nothing, it's a steal. Yes, it does have a little bit of an old school masculine feel to it, but I think it's awesome. So let's move on from Drakkar Noir to this guy, Eternity from Calvin Klein. This is the original Eau de Toilette, and Eternity is still around. It's still kicking. Got all kinds of releases coming out. You got a new Parfum version. You get your yearly, your annual summer versions. So obviously, very successful. Refuses to Die, which you could actually say about a number of the different Calvin Klein fragrances. They come out with the line, it works with the original one, and then they sit there and they go, you know what? I bet we could milk this until the end of time. And then they do. This one, very fresh, clean, slightly sweet, extremely versatile. Another fragrance that, you know, smells a little bit of its time, but Eternity, when this dropped, everywhere. And for what it's worth, Eternity is a lot more wearable, a lot more approachable for more people than Obsession was for men from Calvin Klein. Now you might think CK1, that's a bigger release than Eternity, should have gone with that one. And yeah, CK1 was bigger than Eternity at their respective heights, but CK1 technically is a unisex fragrance. So Eternity gets the nod. And one more thing, I would be featuring Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger in today's video. I'm very embarrassed about this, but I don't have Tommy right now. So Tommy Bahama, honorable mention. I'll be getting a new bottle of that soon. That way I can feature it in something, I don't know. But Tommy deserves a shout out because that one was also very huge, and I don't want you to think I forgot about it. Keep it moving. Cool Water by Davidoff up next. Another fragrance that just will never die. It's gonna be 2075 and people are still gonna be buying Cool Water. And this is another one like Eternity that has spawned many, many, many flankers. Both your summertime releases and higher concentration versions of the fragrance. Even flankers that frankly don't really smell much like Cool Water at all. It's got that too. Another wonderful cheapie, a fragrance that stands the test of time. This stuff still works extremely well. As you would expect by the name, Cool Water, great during spring and summer, nice high heat kind of fragrance. It has similarities to Green Irish Tweed from Creed. It was done by the same perfumer, only this is, of course, like a budget version of Green Irish Tweed, much more affordable. Green, clean, fresh, aromatic, Cool Water. Still good stuff. Let's go with something a little more modern. We'll go with this, Bleu de Chanel. The Eau de Toilette, one of the fragrances that really, really helped kickstart the blue fragrance wave into high gear. Bleu de Chanel made it where every other fragrance brand, every perfumer, just everybody involved with fragrances stood up and took notice. They saw Chanel selling bottle after bottle after bottle of this stuff, and they were like, I got a great idea. Here comes my blue fragrance. The versatility, unmatched. This scent, along with the Eau de Parfum version of Bleu de Chanel, you can wear anywhere, man. You're gonna smell awesome. It doesn't matter where you're going, what you're doing, you are gonna smell like the man. And that's why it sells so well. The opening, very attention-grabbing, citrus and ginger. As it dries down, very masculine, clean, grown up with still kind of a playful edge. Bleu de Chanel is awesome. Okay, let's get this one done because you know we got to do this one. Acqua di Gio, Giorgio Armani. This is the best-selling men's fragrance of all time, so you can't really do a video talking about some of the biggest releases that men's fragrances have ever seen without talking about the biggest one. It'd be like you do a list of the most popular boxers of all time and you don't put Muhammad Ali on the list, you know? Everyone's just like, really? So Acqua di Gio, very clean, very fresh. A lot of these fragrances, frankly, very clean. That sells so well. Something fresh, clean, classy, timeless. Another fragrance with tons of different flankers out there, different iterations of this style, some more modern, obviously, nowadays than this one. But the original Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette, the biggest of them all. Let's go back in time a little bit to Polo from Ralph Lauren, also called Polo Green. Gotta love that, frankly, horrifically poor atomizer. I really hate it. Let me just show you. Oof. Just a little puff, a sad puff. Leather and woods and a bunch of aromatics in there. Polo Green is that kind of fragrance that you smell and you're like, oh, that's a fragrance for real men right there, right? Puts hair on your chest. It's gonna be a little bit much for some people, a little bit overpowering, especially compared to what's very popular nowadays. You know, your modern men's fragrances, they don't at all smell like Polo Green. And this is one of those fragrances that people will really seek out vintage bottles of. Like vintage bottles of Polo Green, those can command a premium. And then there's also Modern Reserve, which came out a while back and then was discontinued, and that also commands a premium. I'm lucky enough to have a bottle of the stuff. It is awesome. But Polo Green, definitely one of the biggest of all time. Let's keep it in the past. Z14 from HALSTON, another cheapie. A lot of these old school, you know, former massive hits, they go for next to nothing at discounters nowadays. Drakkar Noir, Cool Water, Eternity, Z14, all very affordable. And it has that old school kind of atomizer. That looks terrible. Drakkar Noir has the same deal where they just crimp it and then there's nothing over it, so it makes it look very, very cheap. So this has a similarity to Italian Cypress from Tom Ford, only a much more affordable take on it. Obviously the quality's not the same, but HALSTON Z14 still smells good to me. I sound like that wrestler guy. It's still real to me. It still smells good to me, man. I don't care what you say. Now we're going back into the present, but also the past at the same time because it's a 2-for-1. Dior Sauvage, the Eau de Toilette, and Dior Eau Sauvage, the Eau de Toilette. Two Diors, two Sauvages, both very different. Of course, Dior Sauvage EDT, massive. One of the best-selling fragrances on the market today. Seems like everybody has a bottle of this stuff. Great performance, huge compliment factor. One of the quintessential men's fragrances of the day. A lot of ambroxan in here. Got fresh spices, pepper being very prominent here, lavender, and bergamot off the top. Sauvage EDT. Go back a number of decades though, and it's Eau Sauvage that is the big seller. And Eau Sauvage does have flankers, some of them very difficult to find, very sought after. There's one particular flanker of Eau Sauvage that I've been looking for I don't even know how long, many years. Still haven't found a bottle. Which is Glaçon, Eau Sauvage Glaçon, I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, I've been trying to find that for approximately ever and never have. Got all the others though. So this is a classic men's cologne. It has that sharp, kind of lemony citrus off the top, great herbal facets, very clean, very fresh. It is definitely though a scent of its time. So it's a fragrance that if you very much appreciate and enjoy older men's fragrances, then you'll like that one, but you may still yet struggle to choose it over some other things out there. But I still think it smells great. Follow that up with Light Blue Pour Homme from Dolce & Gabbana. Not my favorite light blue fragrance, I've got to say, but there is no denying the success of Light Blue Pour Homme. Light blue for the ladies, very successful, very huge. This is just as big. I have to say, even though I don't reach for this and I would wear the flankers over it, some of the flankers over it, when I smell this, it still gives me a blast of nostalgia. So yeah, one of those deals, like maybe I don't want to wear it, but at this point, if I smell it on somebody else, I'll be like, yeah, it smells good. Light Blue Pour Homme is another fragrance, like so many here, that was just so successful and is so successful that the brand will just keep releasing those flankers forever. Seems like that's really one of the ways that you can determine how successful a designer fragrance is. How many flankers does it have? If it's like one or two, not successful enough, unless it's Bleu de Chanel. Chanel, they're just like, yeah, we don't even need to do flankers for this stuff. But if it lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts, obviously very successful. Sorry, HALSTON Z14. You're still successful, don't worry about it. Light Blue Pour Homme, once again, very fresh, clean, aquatic with a citrus touch off the top. And then you have these kind of green herbal notes as it dries down. Wonderful for spring and summer for most people. Last fragrance, oh boy, saved the best for last, didn't we? Coloration of the fragrance. That cough syrupy smell off the top, never gets old. Yup, Homme. It's a fragrance that I've said mean things about in the past. Yeah, I respect it. That doesn't mean that I love it, but I respect it. It's definitely its own thing, and that deserves all the credit in the world. When a fragrance comes out and it's unabashedly just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, blow. That doesn't happen very often. And so for a fragrance to come out and do that, you got to give it some props. You may not enjoy the way it smells, I'm trying here. It's very sweet, very aggressive, very in your face, loud. Like I said, kind of cough syrupy. Maybe some people would want to be nice and say like cotton candy or something. But it is a fragrance of its day, and it was a monster when it came out, absolute monster. And it's a scent that holds sentimental value, I know, to so many people out there. A lot of people I've spoken to, so I will never take that away from this fragrance, and it was a smash hit. And also, to be fair, there were fragrances that came out afterward, both niche, looking at you, Creed Original Santal, and designer, that did different riffs on that one. So it was good enough to inspire some other big boy fragrances. There we go, friends. 10 of the biggest releases ever. Some of these I think are just awesome. Others I'm a little more iffy on, but can't take anything away from their success. Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, please, and I will see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.